the update that none of us ever wanted. So for now, the steel building home build process is canceled. We had a lot of things happen. Well, actually, primarily just one thing. I mean, obviously, we've mentioned to you guys that several things have been happening. Most recently, the surveyor sent us the survey for the wrong parcel and the legal description for the wrong parcel. And we had to say, no, that's not the part of it we're buying. We're buying this part. And then they had to redo it and redo the legal description. We were sent on a wild goose chase for an architect that evidently we did not need. So we wasted a week on that. The reason that we thought we needed one, so for those of you that are following this for building your own barndominiums, in the state of New York, we thought you needed an architect, which I didn't even know what architects did. I didn't know at what point in the process we were supposed to use them because we were just stumbling through this as we go. And they're all super rude, by the way, very condescending. Why are you coming to us at this point in the process? I was like, because there's no how to accomplish the American dream. Step one, get an architect. Nobody tells you this. So anyway, apparently with architects, they typically go through the entire design process. You go to them and say, I think I want to build a house, maybe 4 bedrooms, open concept, and then they will create the layout for you. And then they'll design everything down to how you want your shower tiling. But because we already had a layout, and, our steel manufacturer and our general contractor and all that, they didn't really want to work with us. We found one nice gentleman who basically said, yeah, you need, permit plans and things like that. So he referred us to a friend of his who quoted us $7,500, which I was like, I did not budget for that. But it turns out most architects charge 10% or more of the total construction cost of the build. Also didn't budget for that. But anyway, as it turns out, we did not need an architect, and we just needed a structural engineer to do the foundation because we wanted radiant heat and it needs to support X amount of weight, whatever. So we did find a structural engineer, and it would only be $1,500 or $2,000 for him to make that plan and all that. And the only engineer plans we need are for the load-bearing walls, which when you're doing a steel building, at least this, again, is what I was told. That's all you need the stamped engineer plans for. And so our steel company, Worldwide Steel, will provide that. But yesterday or the day before, our general contractor backed out. And because of COVID and all of that and the shutdowns and the wood shortages and material shortages, all the general contractors that I've called since then are booked solid. They're not available. Our general contractor had said he felt like it was too much risk for him, he'd be having to front too much money before he actually got paid. And he wasn't comfortable with that. And he said, I found some other projects that I booked that'll keep me busy to the end of the year. And I was like, fantastic. Anyway, the other contractors that I called immediately, I was on the phone and emailing another half a dozen by the end of that day. They're either booked out or they're too expensive. I don't know if it's just that things have inflated price-wise, or if maybe the general contractor we had been talking to was just out of his mind and was, quoted us wrong. I don't know. But basically, the other guy we were talking to finish the interior of our building was going to be $170,000. Which, we were like, okay, yeah, good, okay. He said, I can do that. I just got a quote from another one that just to do that and the site work, but was $393,000. As all of you know, our budget is $360,000 for everything. That's for the land, for the steel, for the site work, and for the building. Well, the steel and the site work by themselves, the steel and the land by themselves is already $130,000. So I was like, yeah, no. So I think we have to pull the plug. And I was really upset yesterday when I realized that, and I had a day of being upset, but this too shall pass, and we are resilient. And so basically now what we're thinking is we're probably going to buy a home in Windsor as like a temporary stopgap, and we'll basically just commute to the property so that we can still get started on some of the farming stuff. But that's going to be what we have to do. I mean, I'm also looking at like, okay, what if we like dropped a double wide on the property? Would a bank finance that? Because then, you know, when you're done using it, you can ultimately sell it and have them, you know, separate it, pick it up and ship it off. I don't know how that works. I'll have to do some research on that, but maybe it's better if I don't, because that was how we got into this whole barndominium thing, because I found them and then was like, oh, steel frame buildings, this is going to be great. Look at how great they look. And Chad was like, those do look great. And you say they're more affordable? And I was like, yeah, look at all these statistics from pre-COVID. Not realizing that when you are building a house basically yourself and you're managing that entire operation, there's a lot more moving parts than when you go through a modular home builder and they do all of that for you. So there was a little, when all of this fell through, there was a little bit of guilt that all of this was my fault. But ultimately, maybe it's for the best. Because all of the houses that are for sale up there, like the nice ones that are, you know, 3-bed, 2-bath, which we do kind of need 4 bedrooms because I need an office and bedrooms for the kids and master bedroom. I mean, I guess we could make do with 3 in the meantime. But anyway, even the nice, like, 3-bedroom ones are going for, like, $250K. And we were like, we can afford that. Like, we were approved for $360. So the nice thing about that is we can get a house. And we've realized that if we have 2 kids and a dog, which we frequently bring the whole family everywhere, including the dog, we're going to have to take 2 separate vehicles right now because we have, like, a sedan and a crossover vehicle. So like neither of them are very spacious and they don't fit the dog and 2 car seats. So we will always have to drive separately. So maybe we use this opportunity to get a cheaper house to get us up there to New York and maybe get an effing car, like a big ol' SUV with some captain's chairs so the dog can stand in the middle between the 2 car seats. And maybe that's what we'll do. But yeah, that's what we're exploring right now. Like, does it make sense to drop a manufactured home? And maybe we put that, because the property's huge, maybe we put it on the other side of the property and maybe we don't move it when we're done. Maybe we Airbnb it or, you know, put a tenant in there or, you know, I don't know. Or maybe we have like a relative move in or something. So, you know, we have options and, you know, it sucks. We lost some of our money. Because with the steel company, you have to give them a deposit, and when they make the preliminary drawings for you, like the front view, the side view, the top view, all that, you know, takes some of their effort so that you pay them. They keep some of your deposit for that. It's in engineering right now, which they send out to a third party, and that third party obviously needs to be paid. So they keep some of our deposit for that. So we're probably out $3,000 or so for both of those services. So that's the cost of me being a dum-dum and thinking that this was a good idea, I guess. But at least we'll get the rest of our deposit back, which is not insignificant. That's like probably like $15,000. So there's that, and we'll have that money to play with, and we'll be saving more money in the meantime. Separate issue, because the baby's coming and now we won't be in a new house, we need to find somewhere to put this baby. There's such a thing as mini cribs, and I had no idea. And so we could actually probably squeeze a mini crib into our bedroom and still have the dog crate and still be able to like navigate through and get into bed. Because a second crib will absolutely not fit in our second bedroom. It's minuscule. It's like 9 by 9. So that's what's going on. Pulled the plug on the Barndo, on the steel building home. We will still eventually build something like that, but it's not going to be for another year or 2. So that's the update on the homestead process, how we're going to get up there, and on the home build process. So I know a lot of you following us are from steel building and Barndo companies and everything, and I'm sorry I don't have better news to guide you with. Things just got too expensive and people keep pulling out, and not being helpful. So it happens, and we're going to keep looking forward. So stay tuned for more updates. I'll tell you when I have them.